Shout out to everybody here. Thank you for jumping on in. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. Those buys at 104.3, are they going to hold? Or are we going to go low? Bitcoin struggling at 106K. We'll find out on the Crypto Lifer Show. Bam. Bam. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on it. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Let's go. Let's get the music up and running. Thank you. We're going to get started here like we do every single day because, hey, the secret to success is getting started. Let's get this movement on. Let's get that music up and pumping. Bitcoin. Huge pump last night. Got a lot of people off guard. I was at a short scout, just a short head short, and I did take an L. So, hey, been a tough week for me personally trading. But let's take a look here at BTC and see what's happening to Bitcoin. We nailed Monday. Monday was beautiful. Haven't given the Monday gains back, but the last couple days I haven't been able to nail Bitcoin perfectly. I should have just traded my model, but my model played out at like 4 in the morning, which made it hard for me to hit it. And I've been attempting to get some sleep for the first time in a while and attempting to go to bed before like 1 in the morning. And it's funny, that's been hindering my trading. I would have been able to see things that I couldn't lately. They've been giving some signals that I look for very early in the morning. But anyway, Bitcoin had a massive pump to the upside last night. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candles on the 15-minute in a row. On the 1 minute, it was like incessant. I almost never seen anything like that. Or was the 5, it was just continuous green. Look at that. 5 minute had just continuous green candles. Imagine being in a 5-minute trade that just never ended. That's insanity. And we broke out this little flag. I talked about this little flag last night to see if the 5-minute could stay right here. Could the 5-minute stay above the 200 moving average? We dipped, then we came back inside, made a flag, dipped, and then ripped to the upside. Then we made this flag today. Looked like we may get a move. And I took a bit of a long. Luckily, I took a long early around here. So when we pumped, I was up. I was able to move my stop loss pretty close. When we started to come down, I decided to get out. And then we dumped to the downside. Nasty move. Bang, bang, bang. The NASDAQ played out beautifully today, trading on BTCC. And what I noticed is BTCC did change their, they've already changed how you get in and out of a trade right now. Right here, right now, they've got it. It looks very similar to my favorite place, to one of my favorite user experiences on BitConnect. So they did it. They're already working and doing the things that I asked for, which is pretty awesome. So we're at 33333 in this trade. We're going for $2,000 to $10,000. It's taken a while. It's not easy. I took 2 L's that brought me from 36 back to 32, but then we brought it back up right now. So only time will tell, or 31 something, but then only time will tell. One step at a time. A little bit of a bounce here for the NASDAQ, but I saw this beautiful flag this morning. What is it, 8:30 this morning, 7:55? About 7:30 in the morning. I said, look at that NASDAQ. It's in a beautiful flag right here near the 21. And just a massive pump. See, I bought right here. There's my B. There's my sell. I sold basically the top. And bang. And it actually lost everything it made. And now we're in a bit of a slump. So we're getting these pumps in the morning, followed by these weird dumps right when I get on. Price action has been tough, has been tight. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you all for being awesome and amazing. It's not easy showing up every single day. If you're still here, you're one of the few warriors that has not been flushed out of this market. Remember, I was buying 103, 104,000 still. So we're still in this move. It's a bull run because we're in an uptrend on the bigger time frames. You can't say we're not in an uptrend. You can clearly see we're in a beautiful uptrend to the upside. It looks absolutely amazing. All right. And remember, never trust someone that never loses, man. People are going to lose. There's a P&L. You will lose. Now, to keep the losses small and to keep the losses few and far between, that is the key. But you're going to lose. Last night, it looked bearish. I still have some, concerns for the price of Bitcoin on the bullish side, right? It's not amazing. But so far, we are live. So far it is what it is. We'll take it one step at a time. We're still above $100,000 after massive pumps. Staying above 100K is really the key. If we can keep 100K as the bottom, we can start to soar to higher highs. The key is to stay calm too and focused one step at a time. Wow, it's getting flushed though. 105.4. Everything is to the downside. I have no trades open at the moment. No trades at all. Not a short, not a long. Just sitting. Let me take a look at BTC on the bigger time frame. And they're just dumped. Look at that. Just pumped it all night and then slowly coerced it into a flag and then went after anyone that decided to long that puppy. You take a look at BOOKMAP, it still suggests we go to 110,000. That looks like the closest area that I'm looking for. So 110,000 still on the radar for Bitcoin. We could easily get there from 105.4. Not that difficult. BOOKMAP, link in the description of BOOKMAP. This shows you kind of where the liquidity is. This is Global Plus that I'm using. A monthly subscription to Global Plus is what I like to have. And up there is the basic, that's the nuts and bolts there. 110,150 is the key area for liquidity here on BTC. 105,400. Remember, my trading group, we doubled when we went from 69 down to 15,000. So I never stress. It's always a tough time. The summer's also slower with lower volume. It's going to be more treacherous to trade. And there's less retail out here. It's me and you, right? It's the warriors. It's the crypto warriors. It's the crypto lifers. It's the people that they don't believe are still here. They want it all to themselves, I guess, because they don't want anybody to get a piece the way they're flushing people out of this market. It's insane. Question my sanity many, many times here in cryptocurrency. Let's take a look at the monthly and see what's happening on the biggest time frame. We can, really take some good information from here on the monthly time frame. So the monthly still looks okay, but I say the bearish div of the monthly would have to be bigger, but beginning to have a little bit of bearish div. That could swing down, that swings up. You are getting a bounce. Everything looking good. The monthly has closed the candle above resistance, but a lot of wicking, not the best sign when you have sell pressure. So a lot of people felt like there was a, good whales basically took profits up there. Last time the monthly had 2 tweezer tops. So we wouldn't want to see this monthly close tweezer top. June closes like this. I'm just, especially if that closes red, I would be cautious. I would, that wouldn't be amazing. We take a look at the weekly, and the weekly stays above 104,005. Key level that I've been talking about, but these are the weakest candles I've ever seen. After this, I thought we'd get the nice bounce. We'd start to consolidate. Things would look nice. If I told you, you told me we're going to do this, indecision doji, and basically stay flat, that's insanity. That's enough to make you sick. It makes sense. Price action has been absolute ridiculous. We called that bottom. We called a couple bottoms. We made some nice moves. We sold that 108 top, which was insane on Monday afternoon, if you remember. And it felt like nothing could go better. Now the week has been choppy, tight. And for me, it's just been tight price action. Haven't been able to get my calls on the smaller time frames except for like between 12 and 5 in the morning. I did it twice in a row, so we'll see. We'll go back to the 5-day chart. 5 days showing signs of green. Saying, hey, we can get a bounce here. And, maybe it just did a pattern here where we have to suggest that it left the pattern one more time. And that's why I like my 3-day. My 3-day makes the most sense here. And we talked about a bounce coming, and we said it looks likely that we could get this bounce. I said 1, 2, 3, 4. I said 12 days of consolidation. Look for Bitcoin to get tight here on the 3-day chart. And maybe it's just, the 3-day chart is the chart to play right now because everyone else is caught up. Like a long right here with a stop below that wick and just wait for 10 days or 6, 7 days, and you end up here, you sell for gains. It might be that type of market. Just slow, coming, patient market. And that would be a beautiful range. Top of the range, bottom of the range, top. Then we get tight. And that's 1, 2, 3. That could take about 12 to 15 days. But in 12 to 15 days, Bitcoin's going to have to figure out where it's going to go. That's $126,000. Where do I get that? Just this wick to that wick there. This wick to that wick. Just the first measured move makes sense to me. About 126,005 for Bitcoin. So it's on the table. Oversold in the stochastics. Everything's looking like we could get a beautiful move. It's not too bearish on the big picture. When you zoom out, things are looking, yesterday it looked like this was going to be red. We were going to lose this trend line. This is going to turn to an M, and we were going to drop. Looked like we could have dropped to 98,000 yesterday, or at least to 101.5. Things were looking nasty. We were back below the weekly support of resistance. It was not. Yesterday was treachery. That short squeeze in the middle of the night last night saved the day, technical analysis-wise. Got us back above some key levels. And now it's that 105.5. I don't understand, but 105.5 has just been a battle. 105,500. Just sells and buys, sells and buys, sells and buys. I think it's a key level where Spot has tons of limit orders to get in. You got people also DCAing into leverage trades at that level, and then you have people taking profits at that level. It's just a key zone. And it's a battle. Look, price action really sitting. Wow, we got a bump quickly to 105.6 out of nowhere. Bitcoin seems like it may be getting the bounce back to 106,000. So the daily to me looks good. It's oversold in the Stokes. I expect to move up. Falling wedges break up 68% of the time. So I'm calling for Bitcoin to move back to 109,000, maybe even back to 110. And that's also what BOOKMAP says. BOOKMAP says it's going to liquidate these shorts at 110,000. It's just going to take some time. Got to be patient. That's what it says is going to happen. But again, I have no guarantees at all here for Bitcoin. Falling wedge can break on up. Let's take a look at the 8-hour time frame. Struggling with some bullish divvy, though, and had that move. Decided it could break out. Started, and again, anything past the daily, this falling wedge starts to look pretty strange. But look, that's a breakout. Try to say it's like a teensy, top of the range. Now, could that come right back down and dump? It very well could. And, it's head and shouldery. So is that there. And so yesterday, I was convinced they were going to dump the head and shoulder. I was faked out that, shoulder, right here, shoulder, head, shoulder. I mean, I was convinced we were going. And you know what I said is 68% of the time, that's going to break down. So if I get stopped out here on a hedge, that's okay. I should get stopped. You get what I'm saying? When you do the right thing and get stopped out, nothing wrong with that. It's okay. So look, we boomed up to the 4-hour 200 moving average. We got rejected by the 4-hour 200 last night. That was the exact place to take profit. I love taking profits at the 4. If I was in a long, that would have been a great place to take some profits. And that was about 106,005. Now look at us dumping nice. Oh man, now it's 105 too. Now they're flushing the longs. So it looks to me like they came to the top of the range on the daily, and then flushed us and then hit the resistance the 200 moving average in the 4. Also, look, 777's right there. But anyway, the stochastics RSI. They got bearish div and they're pointing to the downside. The short may still be in order. It still may be some type of head and shoulder pattern. I tell you what, man, one of the toughest markets I've ever seen. Back and forth chop. And it's close to making a massive dump. You know what I'll say is I'd rather, because shorting isn't my forte right now, because of the uptrend, let it dump. And I'll find some type of reversal to the upside, and I'll trade whenever it gets back above that 200 on the 1. Because if I chase this short and it goes the other way, I'd rather just trade my model. And I think that's what I learned this week. That I'm just going to trade my model more than anything else. The model plays out even when price action's going down, I can find my model. Like look here too, that 1 hour crossing the 200. But again, this looked to me, see when the 1 hour crossed the 200, big move? That's why I decided that it could have been a big move here. I said, if we lose these wicks, we're done. But, what I didn't like was how far the 21 was to the 1 hour time frame. And my mind said, hey, Sam, I liked it. I was like, I'm above the 200. And I said, yeah, but you're just too far from the 21. Stokes are too high. I said, you like low Stokes, touching the 21. I said, so that can't, you're kind of pushing it there. I totally agreed with myself that was against the grain. So, wow, it's only been 15 minutes, 10:26, and we've done a lot already on the stream. Shout out to all my beautiful people, my lovers of life, and the crypto lifers, man. I couldn't do this stream without each and every one of you showing up tirelessly every single day. We got a stream. We got a group of people here that really carry this thing to the upside. Shano. And shout out if you got out of the trades when I did, you did not get rocked and wrecked. Right? And honestly, it does look like there's a black swan possibly coming here in crypto. The charts will tell you when the black swan is coming. And I got to go back to the idea that this could be a shoulder, head, shoulder. That could even be the shoulder. Still looks somewhat bearish to me here for Bitcoin. The daily looks okay. I'll give it to you. The daily looks okay. Shout out to Master Friend. Master Friend, what does this mean? I'm really slow. I don't understand what that means. Does that mean? I don't know. Is it sunglasses? I can't see it. What is that? I can't see that emoji. I don't know what it is. Fix is making higher lows. I bought 929 shares of TWC this morning. And the Bitcoin stock is up 200% in the last 5 days. Yeah. My boy Lifer, Drilla, thank you. Terminator. If the first 15 minutes was straight fire, I'll have to watch it back. Just hopped in. I mean, we packed it with a lot of information. Like, I look back, I thought it was 11 o'clock, and it was 10:26. I was like, dang, I've been talking for hours. Sunglasses, cool as a cucumber. Thank you so much. See, the whole time I've never seen, I thought it was a bomb explode. You know what I mean? I shouldn't even say that, right? Flagged. Sunglasses. God bless you, master friend. Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you for being here, man. All I can do is buy more BTC like these whales are doing. Okay? Let's talk about it. You know, parataxis in Korea. To repeat strategy in Metaplanet's treasury plan in South Korea. Parataxi Holding, an affiliate of Parataxi Capital, will merge with South Korea public companies Bridge Biotherapeutics. The deal for $18.5 million is the first step towards building a BTC treasury entity. Parataxis Korea. The biotech company was distressed before the merger due to the loss of revenues from one of its flagship patented drugs. So they'll offer a BTC treasury company in South Korea. I mean, yes, right? You can see it's continuing to grow here across the globe every single day. And it's not over. Semler Scientific bets big on Bitcoin with 462 million planned to amass 105,000 coins. Yes, Semler Scientific, an American-based healthcare technology firm, has announced plans to buy $105,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2027, aiming to rank among the largest corporate holders of cryptocurrency. As of June of 2024, the company holds 4,449 BTC, valued at approximately $462 million. Oof. The strategy targets midterm goals of 10,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2025 and 42,000 by 2026. They're going to be buying up the Bitcoin, and there's going to be less and less of it. This is huge. Director of Bitcoin Strategy announces 3-year plan to own $105,000 Bitcoin. Wow. Scientific. Semler Scientific by Eric Semler. He's going hard, man. He sees the future. He ran a model. These guys that have tech, that have, you know, you notice the guys that have information to the biggest tech, the highest group of AI models, you notice what they're doing? They're buying Bitcoin, right? They're buying Ethereum. There's got to be a reason for that. Like, these guys have, they can run models. They can see where where the human race is going before we get there, right? They're running all these AI models and stuff, and they have access to the data and the information, and they're buying Bitcoin. So it only tells me something interesting is happening here. Sam, do you want to know how the whale swap works? Just by looking at the charts, one line, and you will make millions. And it's a fact. Let me know. I'll explain it, and you can do it right now on stream. Yeah, show me, man. You've been saying it for years, and you're always like, and I laugh because I have no idea. I only laugh because, right, people fear what they don't understand, right? And people laugh when they don't get stuff. So I probably laugh to cover my lack of knowledge. No, show me what is the whale swap, my man. Please, I would love to know. They know some people, most don't. Yeah. So on that inkling, every time I see a billionaire buy more Bitcoin, I buy more Bitcoin. You see what I'm saying? I'm just like, okay, I'll buy a little more BTC. Why not? Don't twist my hand here. ETF options expire today. Liquidation expected. Oh yeah, it's a Friday with the ETF options expiring. There's usually massive movement today, so be careful. Okay, open BTC chart index, all-time history. Sure. Okay, all-time history index. Let's take off all the indicators. Right? Let's remove the... Okay. All right. He's going to teach us the whale swap. We're going to learn live here on the channel. Hey, I'm not the only guy with knowledge. I like to be the dumbest guy in the room. I probably am right now. With all these geniuses here, we have over 1,000 people here, so there's got to be someone with, a super high IQ. Okay, open up the Bitcoin chart index. Draw an extended line from May 22nd and then connect it to July 22nd, 2024. Draw an extended line from May 22nd, 2025 to July of 2024. Something like this. I mean, these are spider lines, which I'm not, not saying I haven't done this before. These are all respected over time. There's another one right there. Hold on. Right there. Anyway, use an extended line. You were using the wrong line. Use an extended. Yeah, I got time. See, I'm not going to do this. I can't. Every time I've done this, this stream has gone way off. I got to do what I'm doing. Send an email, man, with an in-depth to cryptolifers@gmail.com. And I'll do it off chain. Yeah. And we'll go over it later. Yeah, every time I've done this, it's gone bad. Trust me. Just trust me. Yeah, they don't want to, because I'll lose my whole train of thought. Yeah, I don't want to get distracted in your nonsense. I mean, I like to say nonsense just because it makes people laugh. All right, but it's not nonsense. It's just a joke. All right, so just when I say it, people laugh. All right, I'm an entertainer, man. I got to be a little smug. That's all. You got to understand, it's all an act. Hey, Sam, my wife wants to join the next trading class on the 28th. Its starting time is 9 a.m. Yeah, thank you for all that you do. God bless. Yes, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Yes, we teach class next week. It's coming on up, so jump on into class if you want to jump on in here. $150 to learn everything that I know, basically, and then practice it. I'm going to break it down for 3 hours straight live. We're going to have a blast together. It's June 28th, 9 a.m. to 12. Only 2 classes. All right, in the next 2 months. So jump on in, get that knowledge while you can. We had to skip the last class due to Vegas and a bunch of movement. So the daily looked good to me. Can it continue to recover? Let's see how the daily candle closes. Really important how the daily candle closes. Important how that 4-hour candle, but got rejected by that 200 moving average. See if the 1 hour can bounce off this 21-day moving average and hold this support and resistance level. Resistance. Bounce. Can it turn into some type of weird, inverted head and shoulder? It could still flag out here, get a bounce. This is strange, but it could happen. Let's take a look at our 15-minute. Yeah, some type of inverted head and shoulder here on the 15-minute time frame. Let's draw Fibonacci and see if we can get the retracement. I'd say from this impulse there. And we go right here, a bounce off the 786 Fibonacci. Yeah. Thank you. I'll be in there, Sammy. Thank you. Shout out to Seth Hammond. Who's coming to class? Yeah. Exactly. I got paid, and now I have a dawn on the way, man. You're crazy, man. Wow. Hey, Sam, my wife went to join the next trading class on the 28th. Yeah, exactly. God bless you. Yeah. No worries. I respect that, Sam. Just remember, extended line from June 28th to 21st. Connect it with the 20th. And when you trade above, the whale swamp has begun. Never fails. Free millions. Enjoy. Thank you. The extended line. Okay. I'll do it. God bless you, brother. Thank you. So we'll see. All right. So we'll mark it now here. May 22nd. We'll put a line. And then July of 2024. Right? I got to look on like the weekly, obviously. and draw an extended line. So you go up here and hit extended line. I mean, all you're doing is doing a spider line, man. I would tell you the same thing. You know what I mean? It's not really that. I actually think that's incorrect, to be dead honest with you. 100%. You know what I mean? Yeah, way off. What I would tell you is this. I would tell you this is your extended line here, and you're already above it. You see, you lose that, it's a bump and run back to the downside. I don't know, but that's how I see it. You might see it differently than me. Or maybe this is the same line we're talking about. I just didn't draw it perfectly. Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that idea, but that's just trend. You can see it's changed a new trend, just like this. And that's why we end up getting this idea that we could be making this rising wedge that could be breaking out parabolically. So, like, while everyone's super bearish, there's usually opportunity, right? And so right now there's confusion, and there seems to be some fear in the market with all this contention of what's happening, right? But to me, that just creates opportunity. I've been buying up as much Bitcoin as humanly possible. That's been basically the main game right now. And just keeping your mind straight enough on the narrow path to buy Bitcoin right now while the whole world's bugging out is really a mental superpower. Because most people just can't do that. They're locked into the fear. They're locked into what's happening. They can't seem to move forward. They're stuck. And if you're able to move forward and you can see that the fear and greed index is where it needs to be, and you're able to actually get your mind right, organize your thoughts, and hey, this is an opportunity, bang, bang. Maybe give him proper instructions before he wastes his stream time. I love you, man. By the way, you're hilarious. The coverage of the FOMC with Powell beating. Love it, man. God bless Ross, everyone here. Shout out to everybody here on the live. And if you first saw me ever on that Jerome Powell, who saw me first ever on Jerome Powell and then came to the stream today? How many new people we have here in the stream? We are growing every single day. While people complain that their channels aren't moving, this channel continues to grind on our way to 20 million subscribers. But on our way to 100,000 subscribers, we're very, very close. I could smell it, I could taste it, but I can't do it without each and every one of you. So please subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Get the likes up. The likes have more people come, more people subscribe to the channel, right? And thank you so much. Shout out to everyone who gave some chat revenue too. Let's take a look here at the super chats. Hey Sam, when you get the opportunity, can we look at SEI? Yeah, it's having a bit of, it's stronger compared to most recently. Hey Sam, my wife wanted to join the next trading class. 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. I think it's EDT now. But yeah, I know what you're saying, just to be like super correct though. I think it's EDT, 9 a.m. EDT, Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And then we'll be out of EDT, right? So there's talks of this idea here too for Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. Getting a major move here to the upside. Possibly this could be a rising wedge that does absolute damage. And, to me, it has that parabolic vibe. We went over this the other day, right? It's got this parabolic move. Again, I don't know what's going to happen. I know yesterday I was bearish. It didn't look good. Today I'm like, oh my God, we're parabolic. I'd be like this guy. But what I tell you is I'm buying Bitcoin, right? You got to listen to what I'm doing, not to what I'm saying about the technical analysis can change each day. We trade the probabilities that we're given, and they can tweak each time we move. What I can tell you is I'm going to do exactly what I see the charts tell me to do. But in the long term, I'm just going to continue to buy Bitcoin, right? And so, but I've got to look for the best places the chart conveys. So like that dip was a good place. This dip, anytime we had massive fear on the fear and greed index at alternative.me, I'm telling you, I've made tons of money just using this. Remember when I bought 10 in front of you guys right here? April 9th, my birthday, pretty damn close to my birthday, we got a gift. But there was 10 right there. Yeah, February 27th, February. Sam, can we do TARS AI? We need more love for the alts. Let's take a look at SEI and TARS AI for a second here. Bitcoin absolutely collapsing to the downside, losing everything, creating a bit of a Bart Simpson, faking a possible flag there. But again, the 1 hour stochastics told you there was really not much coming out here. They were oversold. I wanted to see if the 15-minute could get the move. It was getting tight. And then we lost the 200 moving average on like probably the 1 minute. Yep, and once you lose the 200 on the 1, that's a wrap. And that's a short to the downside, just like it's a long to the upside. Then you're looking, what happened to the 5. If the 5 loses the 200 moving average, chance you could put a stop loss right there, and this thing could continue to dump. Anyway, we're going to get to the big time. We're going to break all that down for Bitcoin. We didn't really finish our top-down analysis yet. So let's finish Bitcoin, and then we'll move on to the 2 super chats. And we'll get this done in a nice, beautiful, organized fashion like we do every single day to keep you guys going. So strategy today, sitting on my hands, buying more Bitcoin, waiting for lower prices if possible for a beautiful opportunity. If we ever get 98,000, 99, heck, 80,000 again, it would be a blessing for so many people. How many people here missed out on 80K? How many people wish they got Bitcoin more? I wish I got more Bitcoin. Let's be honest, I did. It's pretty good, but there's always that chance I could have pushed for more. I'm excited for what I did do, but it could be better. Weekly looks weird. Previous support is resistance. As long as we stay above 104,500, I'm kosher. I'm cool as a cucumber. You know what I mean? We go from there. So wow, like earlier this morning, this candle had some green tones. And now it's like, nah, we're going to be pretty nasty and dump on you. Same as the daily. The daily looked like maybe it could break out of here. Again, how the daily candle closes depends on a lot. We have tweezer bottoms there, and we still didn't get, that's crazy. That 4-hour long is still holding on. It's insane, though. That one from what, like 5 days ago? Still expecting a bounce out this falling wedge in a massive short squeeze to 110,000. That's what BOOKMAP's been saying. BOOKMAP has not been wrong. All right. But now we've lost 105. Now it's getting ugly. We are getting smashed. NASDAQ as well. NASDAQ's attempting to find some support here. Looks like it's attempting to bounce in. No, that's now. Lost the 200 MA with a nasty red. So Black Swan, something nasty happening here. And you close the candle below the 200 moving average of the 5. That's usually more downside. I sold that top perfectly. Got in there, sold right there. I could teach you how to do this. You see the 21-day moving average. Whenever you're away from the 21, you snipe. And that is the key. That is the key right there, my friends. Using the close to the 21, away from the 21. This will probably kind of, if you're in a short, it's going to get pretty good time to sell because you're going to get away from the 21 the same way. Wow, nasty rejection by the 1 hour 200 moving average. So you could, the 4 hours. Yeah, the 4 hours, sorry. 4 hour 200, I was like, both? No. The 1 hour, we're basically just lost it. And now, look, so they brought it up, started the flag, but look at them. The candles didn't look amazing. The stochastics were overbought. The RSI was flattened high. And it suggested a move is coming down. So where are we going now? What's happening here? What do I see for Bitcoin? Well, in the 1 hour time frame, it almost looks like it's making some type of... it's hideous. The pattern is absolutely... you'd almost have to exclude... I got to be honest, like the 1 hour, like what is it? Like what is this? I'm making sense of it. The daily looks okay, like we have some type of trend line, but the 1 hour, no. If anything, like look, that was the bearish retest. Like when you really get close to it, you fell down, you broke back up, you bearishly retested this trend line. You tried to get back above this resistance. And honestly, that could continue this dump. And like that dump that bearishness that I was talking about yesterday really could. So here, look at your 1 hour. Shoulder, head. Look for a right shoulder to get made there. I would watch 7 hours from now. You get a right shoulder. We're probably going down to 102.6. I'm not saying it's happening for sure. CFD Stokes can reset. But you got to be more bearish now that you're below the 1 hour 200 moving average on the 4 and the 1 hour time frame. They combine. When I'm above them, I love the long. Like when I'm above the 1 hour and the 4 hour 200 moving average and I see a flag on the 15, I'm in there. That's high probability gaming. You know, that's just going to give me some movement. That's good gains. But when you're below, it's the other way for shorts, right? So now the 15-minute is contending with the 200 moving average. It could bounce here. It could bounce here strong. But this is some crazy, crazy price action. Just like yesterday, it's hideous. It's, you know, I guess it's low volume stirring the pot here too. I've always seen anyway, I got to get rid of this for a second and just look at the range. Remove the moving averages. I got so much. Yeah, there we go. I mean, clearly have like some type of, diagonal resistance here. End of the day, I mean, that's a nasty symmetrical, right? If you want to give it that, it almost wouldn't even say that. And again, back to that head and shoulder vibe. Let me see this one more time. Honestly, like the 1 hour makes no sense. You know, you need the bigger time frame for a minute to make some sense of this. And some days it's amazing. You can make sense of it all. Like I go back to Monday, where Monday was just awesome. And that's why I remember I saw my neighbor. He's like, how was the day? I was like, man, the trading went perfectly. The market kept going up all day. The direction I picked just never stopped and made massive gains. Everybody was happy. I was like, I wish every single day worked out like today. I said, unbelievable, right? I mean, I still see bearishness. You got to get back above 106.5. Now you got rejection. Now you got to hold 103.6. If you miss 103.6, you come back down here to 100,009. Like, and I know BookMap says this and says all that, but we're getting overbought now. That 1 hour still has room for downside. Look at that. So you got to look at it realistically and see, hey, this thing could easily dump on us all the way back down to 98K. 98.5. Again, that area that keeps. So, and the shorts may be in for a big win again. Technically, shorting with a stop, again, every time I short, like yesterday, the short got wiped out in the middle of the night. It's like they knew they were going to short, but they went and got anyone that tried to short first. You had to be a little higher. If your stop loss is a little higher, you might still be in the win. And then if this candle closes below the 200 moving average, that's bearish for me. So Sammy the Bear, yet again, so crazy. I mean, they gave everything back in the last 2 hours that they made last night. And I told you it looked strange. And now look, they're basically liquidating the longs. These are long liquidations here on BookMap. So now whoever went long today on that flag and didn't get out when I suggested to get out way earlier because we lost the 200 moving average is getting flattened. Absolutely flattened. So if you set something up, went for a jog, whatever happens, happens. Wow, and this is a flush out right now. Massive dump to the downside for Bitcoin. One of the bigger dump. Similar, looks like yesterday. It looks a lot like yesterday. You could almost say this is a bear flag here. See? And there's your measured move. Yeah. $100,000 Bitcoin. And then possibly to 98,000. So nasty, nasty day. And Bitcoin looks like it may be going lower. Massive long liquidations happening as we speak. I'm happy not to be one of them. It could have been worse, right? It could always be worse. Whenever you're not the one getting liquidated and you're watching people get liquidated. Like 32 accounts getting liquidated. Right? Multiple. I mean, this is a heavy liquidation right now. And options expiry today. Somebody said it. There's always crazy price action on those days. Hey, Sam, you heard Bitcoin treasury companies like Meta Planet? Yep, of course. And they buy more Bitcoin all the time. Shout out if you're just coming in wondering what's happening to this massive dump for Bitcoin. Bitcoin getting a breakdown. Again, I trade the 200 moving average. The second you lose it on the 1 minute time frame, there's high likelihood of a dump, but a dump like that, my goodness. That's one of the worst dumps I've ever seen. And look, it's crazy. What happens is it hides the head and shoulders inside. Head and shoulder pattern. Measured move. See, it doesn't matter. It's like Alice in Wonderland. It still does the pattern, even though it's a slanted pattern. It can still see it. It's crazy. Shoulder, head right there. Shoulder. Just lower lows. Tried to make the inverted head and shoulder, but collapsed on the right shoulder. So last night, 4 hour makes an inverted head and shoulder. Gets the breakout. Fakes out everybody on the short. And now they dump this puppy all the way to the downside yet again. Insanity. Like, unbelievable. I'm happy. I'm just like looking at my trade. I'm like, I make sure I wasn't in a trade? Because sometimes I'm in so many trades. I'm like, did I leave something open somewhere? I hope I did not. Nope. Wow, what a dump. Man, on a Friday afternoon, catch you after a massive pump in the middle of the night. Unbelievable. Vicious trading, but again, at the same time, my signals play out. Had I just had the guts to short that 200 moving average, I got to just get more focused, you know. I got to be more disciplined. That's all. It's tough to trade summers, right? You want to get outside. You want to leave the charts alone. It's been all year. We've been grinding. The kids are off of school. If you're a family guy, it's not easy. It's, you know, there's always that beautiful, beautiful weather, man. $104,145 for Bitcoin. Head and shoulder. I saw this after the fact. I'm not saying I called it, but wow. Look at the 1 hour. This is insane. Look at this dump here for BTC. Shout out to anyone jumping on into the Bitcoin dump. Look at the 1 hour candle just flushed. If that's not manipulation, I don't know what is. Just like who's selling off right now at a mass level. Honestly, when you move that fast, that down, I wouldn't be surprised if we go right back up. You see what I'm saying? Every time they move the price that fast, usually we go right back the other way. Wow, this is insane. And again, let me get rid of the moving averages here and all my crazy scribble. But like if you just look at it price action wise, that's a bear flag, right? Right here. You could even say this was the bear flag. It fell out, broke back inside. Now it has to dump. The base, at least the base. Wow. Wow, 103,984 now. Bitcoin getting flushed. My short would be in the money now. This is insane. Small time frames are just done, like they're cooked. I can't even get a flag here. I got to go to the 30-second or the 5-second to get some type of price action. They're moving the price so fast. See, I watch this all the time. Normally the 1 minute's going to serve me. When I can't see not one pattern on the 1 minute because it's moving so fast, it means that something, you know, they're moving price that insanely fast. See a bit of an inverted head and shoulder there. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if they flush this thing back up to 106. I'd be careful. But again, options expiry, as somebody said. Price action starts getting crazy. It's attempting to bottom here on the 30-second chart. 5-second. You could kind of say shoulder, head, right shoulder, maybe. I almost see more of a bear flag that continues lower, right? Yeah, and the 5-second chart's really all and I'm attempt to find a double bottom now. Like, you'll see a pattern eventually. The 5-second will teach you how to trade the weekly anything. Wow, this is a massive flush out for Bitcoin. 104, and now we're below that weekly candle. Let's take a look at the bigger time frame for a split second. I'm telling you, man, I had these like the heebie-jeebies yesterday. Last night's pump seems so weird. I woke up like, yeah, I mean, now you're going to close below weekly support and resistance. You do that, you have to start thinking that you're going to go lower to 102.8. And that we go all the way back down, possibly to 98,005. This says even 97. Yeah, 96,009, 97K. This all makes sense to me. You know, again, every time we dump, I buy more Bitcoin. I got to buy the fear again. I bought it just the other day. I bought 104.3 just the other day. To me, the weekly close below that area tells me to be chilling, but every time I bought the fear, it was good. But I don't know. I'm going to wait this time. Looks like I might get better pricing. The TA is looking pretty nasty. That 1 hour is, wow. I got to tell you, that's one of the biggest 1 hour red candles I've seen in a long time. Those two there, that nasty dump there. I will say, whenever I've seen a dump that fast, we've recovered, but I'm trying to make sense of price action here. The only thing I can make somewhat sense of is that we need a giant double bottom, like that's making multiple bottoms. You know, could we still break out of that? But I honestly don't have a lot of backtesting on that idea to see multiple hits like that. I mean, it is showing signs of support there, but dang. 104,000 is struggling to hold. You got buyers coming in. You got sellers selling off. To me, you've lost this, whatever this is what you have to say it was. And now you're going down the lane to the base. So at least you can kind of get a sense of where we're going. 102,451. I mean, we're attempting to double bottom here now. But you lose that level, you're dropping pretty quick. Break back down to 103,300. Okay. Right here to about 103,367, and then maybe even further down to 102.5. Wow. Bearish div on the indicator. Oversold stochastics. And we lost the 200 moving average. Right there, I knew to get out of the trade. That was a wrap. You don't want to be, play He-Man on the bounce. Possible, but, it didn't feel great because we were too far from the 21. Had the 21 been close, I'll trade a bounce on the 200. But it's about where that 21-day moving average is. And again, that's why trading groups are so crucial. I may not be perfect, but I'll help you do something. So check this out. I'll help you avoid pain. At 9:49 a.m., let's take a look at price action. Somewhere right in here, right? If we go back to the 5. Right here about 9:49, we're flattening out. We're about to start a dump. You can see it. The dump hasn't really started yet, but we're flattening out. And I say, I took small wins on the longs. The 1 hour sketching me out. I'll wait for the 21 to be closer and be patient. Right? And within a minute, and then boom. And so I knew, because of years of trading, to watch that 1 hour because it was away from the 21-day moving average. Let's go put this back in rotation and show you what's happening with the replay tool. So price would pump, right? And the time to get in is when you're on and near the 21-day moving average. Some type of inverted head and shoulder. This was wacky, kind of a cup and handle, but to me it was tough price action regardless. If you caught it, God bless. 15-minute might have helped you. The 4 hour looked the best. The 4 hour or the 3 hour even, had an inverted head and shoulder there. Actually, can't even see it on the 3 hour, right? Wow, that's weird, huh? The 3 hour and the 4 hour are so different. So you have a shoulder, head, right shoulder there, but it doesn't look as such. You go to the 4 hour and you have a shoulder, a head, a right shoulder, and it played out. Right? So things are looking dandy. But we know to sell the 200 moving average tops. We know when the 21 gets away on the 1 hour time frame. So things are looking good, but look how fast that pump was away. So manipulative pumps, whenever you get a short squeeze, watch it for the rest of your life. You're going to use the 21-day moving average. Why? Because I believe you're here to learn, and I've been doing this for 20 years, and I can teach you. So you're going to use the 21-day moving average. All right, you're going to go up here to indicators. You're going to type in CBC 5MA, and you're going to use the 5 moving average that I use. The 21, the 50, the 80, the 100, and the, I'll show you them like this. The 21, the 50, the 80, the 100, and the 200. 21 is white, 50 is red, 80 is purple, pink, purpley, I guess. The 100 is blue, and the 200 is yellow. All right, CBC 5MA DRS by Deepak R. Sabu. That's going to give you these 5 moving averages. And now you're going to have the 21 already there for you all the time. Whenever you get near the 21, it's a good place to start to look for a long. It's a good place to believe we're at a good average price action. Whenever we pump like this, whenever you see a green candle like that and you don't think of taking some profits, you see what I'm saying? We're far from the 21-day moving average. Now, there may be a scalp at a small time frame. Like, there's a chance that went sideways. See, what I've seen in my lifetime, it's more rare, though. We could have gone, like, more sideways. Pulled the 21, whether it's met it somewhere here, and then pumped. But we wouldn't have pumped until we were near the 21 either way. Understand? Remember when I said I wouldn't be surprised they pumped this thing right back to the upside? Because it was a massive dump. Whenever they do something like that, it's usually a pretty quick move back up or down. But we'll see. I mean, look, there was a fast move up, fast move down there. It's just been heavy volatility for Bitcoin. So we got to really do the top-down analysis again. Everything has changed. The analysis before really isn't the same. We got to kind of lock it in here. So what's happening? I mean, some could consider this a shoulder, a head, and almost like a right shoulder, or that's a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. It's crazy, right? 1 minute I'm parabolic, the 1 minute it looks bearish. I still like that the daily's making that higher low, but again, I don't know what's going to happen, everybody. That's the thing. I don't know. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I just go over the charts every day. Hopefully you can gain some insight from what I teach. That's all. Like how to use the 21. How to capitalize on the 200 at the right time. How to use the stochastics with the 200 moving average. How they work in conjunction with each other. How to find oversold behavior by using the stochastics RSI. How to get out when you're away from the 21. The stokes are high. Like, these are great lessons to learn no matter what the market's doing. These are amazing. You see? So always important, just things to remember, right? That's why I use the moving averages the way I do. See, the daily's near the 21 with a crossing, and the moving averages are somewhat close. They're not too far apart. I'd like it when the 21 and the 200 are a little closer, but they're not too bad, and the stokes are low. This says that the daily's going to fire off. This is just a bunch of fear. And again, to prove to you all that I believe this is a bunch of fear, I may have to just do what I do every single time. I'm going to buy more Bitcoin. Like, it is what it is. I'm going to show you guys that I buy Bitcoin on the fear. When there's heavy fear, because I can't buy the green. I can't buy big green days. We all know that, right? Because that means I'll buy the top. There's chances I could buy big green days for Bitcoin and just like hold long enough and I'd still be up. But we all know that for me, that's not the best idea. But I will DCA. I'll DCA from 80, from 105 to 80. Hey, I'm not going to buy the top though, right? I'm not going to buy the absolute top. So I'll get this ready and then I'll bring it up. But I'm looking to buy some BTC. And look, this is amazing. They got it right here. Like, this is how you trade spot. It looks just like trading futures, right? But they got spot here. It just takes a while for some reason. I have multiple TradingView widgets on multiple exchanges at the same time. And that creates a little bit of a slowdown. Right? Nice little flag breakout, but wasn't sustainable. So once I hit Bitcoin and it goes to Bitcoin, I usually, for some reason, I hit it, and then I usually have to just refresh on stream. When I'm off stream, we're good. It's also Streamlabs. Streamlabs takes up a lot of the psychoanalyzation, and it always kind of auto-visual tuning, all that stuff. While we lose that 200 MA, though, we could have a dump here in these altcoins as well. Watch your altcoins. It's tough. Even Hyperliquid struggling. I'll do that, I guess, at another time, or I could do it on another exchange. I like to spread it out a little bit, though. But I'll buy more BTC when the time is right. Looks like I may be able to get it a little cheaper, too. 105.3, we're 104.3. We're attempting to get the bounce as well here on the NASDAQ. Bitcoin and the NASDAQ attempting to bounce. So let's take a deep breath. It's Friday. Low liquidity. It was options expiry. They did this yesterday. They brought us to 103, and they pumped it back up. They did this multiple times now. Seems to be their go-to. So maybe we V-shape recovery right back to the upside. We get back above the 200 moving average on the 1 hour, on the 1 minute. So this is what you're looking for. If we're bullish, we'll break back above the 1 minute 200 moving average. If not, that'll either be a rejection point or we'll never even get close to it. I'm more bearish than bullish right now. The bulls have to show us something now. Right now, you have to assume we're going to continue down. We're going to continue lower. You would have to assume that. Right? That would be the assumption. That we're going to go lower. Wow. Yeah, and so it's sketchy, man. Even Hyperliquid, the stronger coin, looks a little sketchy right now to me. So it's... I don't know. Markets, that's summer trading. Bear flag possibly move to the downside here for Bitcoin. Still opportunity in the market. 21 touching. It's kind of how we trade bull flags, right? Same exact way. If I saw that bullishly, it likely could get a pump. So we'll see, though. Looks like they're trying to flush it right back to the upside on the bigger time frames. Like buy that tweezer bottom on the 15-minute. V-shape recovery at 103.8. So what I do is you wait for at least a 15-minute close tweezer bottom. Get rid of that for now. Wow. Wow. Today's a day, every day you see things you haven't seen before, right, in trading, and today's got me definitely bewildered. Wow, that's amazing. Look what they did. They ripped it and dipped. Hey, that's what you would do, right, before you would do anything. I always say it, they'd pump it and dump it, get as much liquidity out of everybody as they can. Possible bounce here on that 5-minute time frame. 5-minute already put in the tweezer bottom, suggesting I say the 5-minute gets at least a pump back to the 200 moving average. Very high, good chance you pump back here. Just a good chance that you do. All right. And this could be a chance to buy altcoins. If I really believed in a coin, I didn't have enough of it, this would be a good time to buy some of it, right? Me personally, I would take advantage of these lower prices. But I am so stacked in so many coins. I just, there's nothing I want. I could really feel like I have to have that more of it right now. It's the only thing I feel that way about is Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ethereum and see what's happening to ETH. Little flag on that 5-second. Look how the 5-second really started to kind of break back up. We eventually found some type of Adam and Eve, some type of bottoming out there on the 5-second. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum, right? So wow, it's funny. ETH stayed in that little flag it was in the whole time. It broke out, broke back, and you could say it's still in the flag. It could make a right shoulder and dump. Could it pump? One last chance. They don't want to make it easy. They don't want to make it obvious. They're not just going to... Last time they gave you 2 flags in a row. They're like, all right, we're not going to make it that simple. Still hugging a higher low, though. Until it breaks this low, I got to remain a little bullish for ETH. Till it cracks that low right there. And look at the moving averages. Getting so tight. I see a golden cross coming. That says ETH's about to pump. I'll be honest. I know it looks weird. The charts don't look amazing, but it suggests that ETH could do some damage here. Pump back to the top of the range. And get a rippage all the way back to 38, 3,900. I mean, Ethereum's got an interesting take. It's just the whole thing is this like head and shoulder vibe, right? Shoulder. It just all looks bearish. Descending triangles. Back down to the 200 moving average on the 8-hour time frame. So, like, we're going to have to get some miraculous bounce. If ETH gets a bounce, for me, it's not like a hit or miss type of trade. If ETH gets the bounce, hangs out somewhere here, then I'm more apt to trade the long. But I got to either that or it's short. So I'm more apt to... It tells me we're more likely to dump than pump. But again, remember, Bitcoin's in this falling wedge trying to break out, and so is Ethereum then. We're looking for these breakouts. This could be that, that time where they're making it look so scary, full of fear, just to give you that opportunity to buy. You got to use fear as the opportunity if you believe in the coin. Again, conviction. If you believe in that's a big deal. Some people just buy whatever. I got to really, truly believe in the coin. I can't just be like winging it, I've been looking at Virtual's protocol. It's got a lot of interesting stuff going on. And the sentience, right? I was looking at a bunch of sentience earlier today. That's Vader AI. You've got Rabita. I like Rabita. Tipper. I don't own any yet, but it's definitely on my radar. Game is probably the best one, the biggest one. GAME. And there's my baby Vader. They got Axelrod, right? Some of these could end up being pretty big. Micro trader, like macro. I don't know. But this is Vader, and you could stake these too. I'm staking Vader AI right now for points. So check it out at app.virtuals.io. Sentience, AI agents. You can create a new agent today. Prefrontal cortex convo, right? This is the future right here. Some interesting stuff here for Virtuals. Virtuals is very unique in its own sense. Did about a 5x too since the bottom. So there's been opportunity in this market. People act like there hasn't. There has been. I see a V-shaped recovery all the way back to the 200 moving average in this 5. I see price going right back up. Flattening anybody who's shorted right now. They're having fun with this market. Be careful. If you can't trade small time frames, get in and out, or stay convicted on like a very big time frame, this is treachery for the quick in and out 1 minute guy that has no control over his emotions. This is treachery. That's happening. You got to calm down, go for a walk. Looking for this flag to break out of the 1 minute time frame and get some, get back up there again to that 5 minute 200 moving average. It looks better on the 1 minute though. We don't, bit of a bull flag, but what we call a bullish rectangle on BTC. The bullish rectangle for Bitcoin looking very interesting here. Could we break on out? Who here is stressed? You might be in a trade. You might need this to break out. You might be watching this channel right now and be like, this is your saving grace. I was about to sell, but now Sammy's making it look clear to me that could possibly change the day, right? Kind of a head and shoulder now too, right? Bear flag. This is how you would be able to break out if you could. Very overbought now on the stochastics RSI. Like almost like bear flagging, right? Not even identifiable on the other side to the upside. Man, last night had a great sleep, but before I get these leg cramps when I eat too much sugar. And I went out with everybody and we all got ice cream and I thought it was great. And I got a little bigger of an ice cream than I normally get. And I got leg cramps so bad I was screaming. Normally we have this magnesium spray and I have pickle juice. And right when I feel a bit of it, I take care of it. Or even before. I just have the pickle juice beforehand. I'm all set. But I've been traveling. I'm in a new place. I didn't think. I was on the floor screaming last night. And then I woke up to like the worst gas I ever had. I think I ate a balsamic chicken sandwich late at night. It might have been a little too old. And I don't know what happened, but I was reeling in pain for about 2 hours this morning. But it all, I'm back. I'm back. I wasn't sick. Just, body pains, man. See if this kind of cup and a squawky, it's a squawk handle, right? The handle's squawking at you there. Can this cup and squawky handle break to the upside? Can we get our bottom out for this? Could be the bottom of the day. They love this 1039. Someone keeps buying 1039. They just love it. I don't know what it is, but it's their key level to buy. I'd like to get this buy on for Bitcoin here. We got the Bitcoin chart up for you. The buy should be able to go through. And remember, I buy it like, a couple grand whenever I'm thinking about it. So we'll buy $2,500 worth of BTC. I'm not selling it. That's not going to happen. Not a good move there. Yeah, we're going to buy about $2,500 worth of Bitcoin at 104.3. That seems to be the price I keep buying it at. I've been getting 104.3 a bunch of times. So 0.023. You know how many people will never own 0.02 Bitcoin? Never mind 0.1. Like, make it your goal to get 0.1. And every day, make it your goal to get 0.23. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Another guy saying he should be, but for me, it's small goals. They added up over time. Little by little, and I got more and more. So we ended up buying that BTC. Did it go through? It's an open order now, right? Looks like, yeah, it went through 49.9. We're all set. Okay. And that's what I do, man. I buy more Bitcoin in the fear. When everyone's bugging out, when everyone's stressed, I add to the Bitcoin pile. Just like the big boys are doing, just like the billionaires are doing. They're not looking at the price of Bitcoin right now. They're looking at the opportunity that must be taken because soon it will be gone. Understand? Hey, Sam, when you get the opportunity, can we look at SEI? Thank you. Let's take a look at SEI. And Sam, can we do TARS? Yes. Hey, you heard of Bitcoin treasury companies like Meta? Yep. Blood Diamond breaking down. The Bunker Buster. It might be, man. Shout out to Matt, who pointed out the Blood Diamond. God bless you, Matt. Yeah, and I'm more bearish than bullish on Bitcoin now because it's breaking below key levels, losing 200 moving averages, and not able to get back above them. And that's going to hurt almost every coin. It's going to hurt your TARS AI. It's going to hurt, whatever you guys are at, SEI. Doesn't matter what coin it is. It's going to take a hit with BTC, right? So TARS AI is still inside this giant cup and handle. Had that beautiful rising wedge that almost broke out, hit 16. Then we slowly kind of bled down, right? And now we're watching this cup and handle in the holding of 8 cents. We got to see 8 cents hold. Very, very important that 8 cents holds. It's a 618 Fibonacci retracement from the low to the high there. We could see a 786 wick. I'd like to see us bounce off that 618 golden pocket. Only time will tell. So right there, TARS AI, a good pickup long term for me, but dang, let's take a look at the daily. The daily looks overbought, ready to rock. So it's telling you, hey, this is a good price to get in. But anytime this market had multiple daily lows too. So it's not always great. You have to find the trend. So far, it looks to have higher lows, but we kind of almost are, we're almost dabbling with the double bottom there. We break that, then we could be in a downtrend. Whenever you break the previous low to the left, that's usually not the best sign. It hasn't happened yet. It could be the perfect time to get in, but it just Very aggressive entry right now for TARS AI. Meaning it could be good or bad. You know, it has, you know, it's not like the greatest entry. But, you know, at the same time, you're buying the fear, which is always usually, you know, in my opinion, has played out. This market has not been rewarding people that buy fear, which is really weird. That's why this doesn't make sense recently, because it's usually most people don't have the guts to buy the fear. So what most people don't have the guts to do usually is benefited, you know? But the people that had the guts to buy the fear when most people didn't get the benefit from that. And that's a bit odd, because that's an offset in energy. I find it a bit strange. Bit of a cup and handle here. The daily ripping to SEI, but likely just to pump to the 200 moving average. When we get above the 200 moving average, I'll start to say, wow. But until then, it's just another day. Trying to get back above that 200 moving average, attempting to do damage there. Let's take a look at your 1. I'd look to see if the 1 minute can make a flag. SEI is more bullish than bearish. Look at that beautiful uptrend it's on. And it's touching the 21 above the 200 moving average, in better shape than Bitcoin, I'll tell you that. People want to buy SEI. I like this coin. I still have a bag of it. I got this big feeling it's going to be big. I mean, it's going to be SEI, SWI, and Solana when the market really, like, we haven't had any altcoin movement. No one talks about DeFi. There's no action in and out. There's no swapping. This has just been so flat for the altcoins, right? Just none of that vibrance, none of that love, none of that movement. That's why the BRC20 coins, you don't have any, you know, it's really hard. You got to revive all these chains, all these different nuances and narratives. It's not easy all at once like that. So, thank you so much for the chat. You people are amazing. We went over SEI, TARS AI. We appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Let's get back to the main chat here, the live chat, the live members. A lot of weekly Stokes need to reset. Then we break. Bear market. Maybe why. Let's just get this bigger dump over with. It's going to get bought up so quick. The charts keep yelling, alts are not the way. I need to change my mindset and move to a Bitcoin dominant port. You know, who knows, how long have I been Bitcoin dominant? Anybody watching my channel? How long have I been Bitcoin dominant? Yeah. I just want to see how many people have been watching me, if we have like an actual history of people paying attention to what I say, or do I just get free reign? Pretty sure people got checks and balances on me. Blocky, thanks for the call. Bang, bang, yeah. Yeah, B-Rise is another one, yeah. No spamming, please, yeah. Someone says 15 years since the beginning of time, Sam. You guys are funny. No, but if you've been watching this channel, I've been buying more Bitcoin than anything else for a long time, right? So, Gaddafi bought, sold the top today. Amazing. Amazing. Good for you, my friend. Do you have the same bot as me, or is it your own bot? Yeah. For so long, I didn't learn. It'll happen over time. Altcoins topped in December. I knew. But I feel like you're a perma bull. You've always traded Bitcoin on stream. Only obvious answer. No, but buying it up. Like, basically buying more Bitcoin than altcoins. That's the point. Cubic is another one forgotten. Yeah, it was a good one. But nobody cares about the tech, man. It doesn't matter. Mr. Space Ripper out in the house. God bless you, man. Yeah. Funny, man. Watch you buy Bitcoin around 18,000. Yeah, 4 months ago, I guess. Keep learning since. Amen. Cookie Dow got a new partnership. Circle the play now. I know, right? And let's take a look at that Tether dominance. First, let's take a look at Ethereum on the big scale, right? And spend some time on ETH. So, oh yeah, we spent some time on ETH. It just, can we get that bounce like Bitcoin? And everyone said, you were scared. No, you were scared. But it's got this head and shoulder vibe. It looks super bearish. We lose that 200 moving average and we dump. And Ethereum comes back down to $2,000. $2,093 and maybe even lower down to $1,855 for Ethereum, man. Shout out to all my beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. 72 and cloudy here. That's so funny. 70 degrees today. It's going to be a beautiful day and sunny. Breezy, though. And all week, it's going to be absolutely... Look at the weather where I'm at. It's absolutely gorgeous. 77 with a low of 66. 77 with a low of 67. 77 degrees all week. 87 later on. Gets a little hotter as the week goes on. That'll be a nice day to hit the beach. But you can see beautiful weather here as we head on into the beginning of summer. Tomorrow, right? It could be... Sometimes it's the 20th. Sometimes it's the 22nd. It depends. But, man, I can never be upset on these beautiful days. I love beautiful days. I love spring. I love summer. You know, I just love these beautiful times to be alive. And I like the birds. I like the bees. I like all the trees, the flowers, everything that grows, man. It gets me going. And many days I've been watching price action, and price action has got me kind of sick. And I've been watching it, it's just like didn't go the way I wanted, or things aren't perfect, and I know the market's twisted and turning in my belly. But I got to take a deep breath and say, man, but it's such a beautiful day out. And I don't want to let the market rip the day out of me. It has many times, so I tell myself as I get older, man, I can't do it. Because I'll be 70 years old one day and be like, man, I made those same mistakes. Bitcoin in an ascending triangle looks like it may get this V-shaped recovery. Whenever it dumps that fast, I'll tell you what, they pump it back up. They pump it right back up. And people wish they got it. I just bought more Bitcoin. Every time I buy these lows, I look back a few days later up. Perfect time to buy. So I can't buy the highs. I got to buy the lows. 10 times I get another quarter Bitcoin and just keep stacking BTC. That's all. Nothing else I can do but stack Bitcoin. Nothing else I can do. For me personally, like, get into altcoins, but that's high risk. Speculative, anything could happen. Chains go down, right? Things aren't perfect. Things get hacked. Bitcoin has been showing stability. Bitcoin was never hacked. I'll take a 3x on something, and you could make a 10x, but yours might get hacked. I'm just saying, I'm saying me too. I'll talk to myself, the speculative guy and the non-speculative guy, because I'll trade the both. I'll trade Bitcoin in a speculative asset, but I'm going to put more money in Bitcoin. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should we take it as financial advice. I'm just trying to procure wealth at this point, keep it where it is, and not squander it, right? That is the key. If we're squandering, then it's not working. We got to find a new way. And there we go. Look, the ascending triangle, which is a 50-50. It's got to get back inside the sauce here. Oof. I mean, the 1 hour ain't done yet, right? It's still dumping. Let's see if the 1 hour can close a tweezer bottom. That's what you're looking for today. If it does not, it's going to come test 103.6 and then 103,001. And then if it loses that, we're looking at 101,000. Now, these are the levels that I'm looking at here for Bitcoin. 1, 2, 101, 160, 103, 186. Got to close that candle above, as a tweezer bottom right there. Let that 1 hour breathe. What a squeeze this morning. And I just got deja vu that it ripped so far after this. Once we got above the 200 moving average, I longed and I made boatloads. We got above it, the 21 touch, and I longed, and it was so beautiful. Deja vu, man. Maybe I'm just making it up, but it looked like it happened. Come on, roll that dice, Bitcoin. Exactly. Highly encourage taking your spot accumulated Bitcoin into a cold wallet and keeping that dish secured away. Keep stacking and saving profit off the top back to the wallet, then eventually play with the house money. Eventually. They are running out of a lot of people out this market. Some people had enough. I know. I appreciate you sharing your energy every day. Energy is contagious, and yours helps me starting my day positive. I love you, man. We got to stay positive, everybody. If I can do one thing, is keep you realizing that you're the opportunity no matter what. There's going to be dark days. There's going to be days that feels like it's never going to happen. There's going to be times where you feel like the energies around you are sucking everything dry, taking everything you got, draining you. No replenishment. That's when we have to replenish ourselves. We go to nature. We realize that we were never chasing money in the first place. We were chasing experiences. I know losing money hurts. I know going up and down in the charts is not fun. I know the sickness, the nasty feeling inside of telling someone, even or yourself, that you lost. Significant other, I lost some of our money trading. It didn't work out. You know, that's the conversation a lot of people have to have, and they don't want to have it. It's not fun. But at the end of the day, we're not here to make tons of money. As much as we all go after money, we talk about money, this and that. We're here to change our lives. We're here to learn from each other. We're here to have experiences that are mind-bending. You know, and if running after money is stopping us from actually learning and gaining experiences on this earth, then we got to ask ourselves what's happening too. We got to find a balance. You're not wealthy. You know, I always say the balances of life, right? It goes back to the 4 pillars. If you're super wealthy, but you're extremely fat, there's a lot of people that think they're wealthy when they got out of their car, all their money. You're not wealthy if you're extremely fat, because you can't run like I can. You can't play with your kids like I can. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just being honest. Or not even like me. I'm not saying me, but like a very fit person. You can't give it your all. If your neighbor asked you for help, you'd only be able to lift a box or two and say you're done. You wouldn't be able to help anybody, right? That's a bear flag. Looks like we get headed lower to 103,230, everyone. I got to say, I don't see anything stopping the pain right now. The point is, if you're super rich, yeah. If you're super rich, Sam loves to run. I can confirm that. You know, funny. Bitcoin ready to go down. Samo. Truth hurts, brother. Yeah, somehow they survive. Replenish your cells when you're tired. Drink. Oh, my God. No, the sides don't have to be the same. The bottoms just have to be aligned with 2 wicks at either end. You know what I mean? QUAI ripped. I can't help you because I'm fat. You're funny. Yeah, I mean, your neighbor might be like, hey, could you come over? Blah, blah. No, I can't do that. I'm overweight, man. Or you can't play with your kids. So my whole point is, if you're super wealthy, but you're out of shape, also your health, right? It's not going to happen. You know. Screws, he says, 12 screws holding my leg together. Having screws in your body is completely different. Like, that wasn't your choice. You just see what I'm saying? You got to do the best you can now with what you got. You got to, you know what I mean? So you do what you can. My whole point is the 4 pillars of life. If I was super in great shape, I had all the money in the world, but I had no sense of spirituality, and I thought I was greater than everybody else, and I didn't treat everybody with love and respect, then you're not a winner either. Period. That's just not wealth. You know, to me, it's a good connection to God, believing that everybody is special, however you do it. You know, if God means everyone's special to you, then that's fine. But believing that everyone has a purpose in life and to treat everyone with love and kindness, even if they don't treat you the same. Learning that your frequency is more important than hurting theirs, you know. Keeping yourself together and high frequency is so important. As we break down from this bear flag, looks like it's going to dump hard. 7-minute rolling over here. 1 hour has more to go. That was just a false little move there to the upside, possible. You never know. Let's see. Today's one of those days I almost, you don't want to leave the charts. Let them do their thing. You know. They barely let us touch the 90s. Don't squander your last opportunity of the bull run. Amen. Everyone needs to go watch The Simpsons Bartcoin, Season 32, Episode 3. Strange, right? Never allow your health and faith to have a black swan event. 100%. I like what he said. Yeah, anything could happen around you, but your faith and your health can always stay on point. You don't have to squander those. You've got those. You know, good thing I had my kids young. I don't know how these 45-year-olds started having kids. I know, I just had a kid. I'm 42. All right, and I got a baby, man. She's like a year old. Look at them wick that puppy back to the upside there. This price action is trash. Complete trash. Like, follows no rules. I mean, it follows my rules on the 200 moving average, but when they're finding what's happening on the day on the lower volume, it's insane, right? Because they moved it so fast, I believe they're going to move it so far up. But that's basically speculation. So he said, I lost $8K when I first started. I dropped my account down to $225. I've since applied discipline, risk management, and your strategy with the 21 and the 200. I went from 225 to 4,000 in 5 weeks. And that's Stubbed Crypto, man. Thank you for saying that. And if you could write that in my testimonials, which is a free place in my Discord here, I'm going to post it. But if you could replace it with a real testimonial. Anyone have a testimonial? Something that changed your life, right? Like this guy wrote in 615. He learned about a lot of trading. He's now working to design shoe that fits me in his own system that works. I'm absolutely not here that, but he fell in love with TA. People find their way, man. God bless you, brother. Thank you for being here. Appreciate each and every one of you. I'm surfing. You call these waves, burger, smash patty. Wait for the wave, yeah. Inverted cat ears, maybe. It's funny, it could be inverted cat ears. Yeah, you're right. My man. My man's onto something. I like this. I like the creative people here. Inverted cat ears. Oh, I should have hit control, right? Yeah. Remember, if you go left, it's a right. It goes to the top. If you go right, it goes to the bottom. Isn't that cool about that? Some cat ears, inverted cat ears, looks like it's going to dump us. Back to the 200 moving average on the 1 minute time frame. Looks likely too, right? And that is an upside down chart. But that's how you can see things that you don't think are going to happen, because we're more apt to think the chart's going to dump on our face. Right? So a dump is coming, right? But of course it's cat ears. And I wasn't the one that did that. Someone here on the channel said inverted cat ears. The guy was spot on, man. Report of the U.S. strike. Oh my gosh. Sam, teach you the future. God bless Sammy, and God bless Master Friend. Shout out to everybody here. God bless my man, Master Friend. Someone says Black Song. I don't know. Patrick Powers predicting things that can't be predicted. Got an insider info for all you in a few hours. Oakland Daily will release a video on the BLOCKY project. Thank you for saying that. It is booming, though. We talked about it bouncing off that 786 Fibonacci. And I said, I don't even care. I'm just giving you guys and look at it bounce. So crazy. And it did almost go up 100%. It was at 1.4 million. I don't know if they're front running this thing, though. But there's some big buys coming in. Look at that. 20, We'll see. Thank you for telling us. Appreciate you, brother. There's a new pattern for me, brother. Yeah, the inverted adamant, the inverted cat ears pattern, man. It's funny, I saw my buddy's cat looking out the window just a few nights ago, just like that. Cat ears, baby, cat ears. 104K support in real time. Stocks going green. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. Let's take a look at that 1 minute time frame. As I trade the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq. You know what I like is when we cross the 200 moving average near the 21, it's a sign we could be getting a beautiful pump for the Nasdaq all the way back up here to 22128 at least. 22,000 has been that point, right? Oh, and it's Friday. We do our macro technical analysis video today and break down the macro for you so you can see what's happening on the bigger side of things. Massive day to go over that, right? Sam, do not lose faith in Caspa. It's completing Satoshi's vision. It's inevitable. Hey, I never sold it. I still got it. We'll see what happens. Thank you for saying that. I have lost some faith, but I'm holding over time. I haven't lost really any faith because I haven't sold it. If I had sold it, then that would be a loss of faith, but I haven't done that, so we'll see. Inverted cup and handle on the 1 minute. It's hard to lose faith in Caspa. I mean, it all depends, right, on kind of how you look at things. So if we get rejected by the 200, which we may, that's more dumpage. If we can get back above it, we could get pumpage. Bitcoin could be front-running the NASDAQ as NASDAQ front-running Bitcoin today. You know, NASDAQ was pumping while Bitcoin was kind of taking a beat down. So it could have been worse, but seemed like we found our bottom again at 1039. Great place. Between 1039 and 104,300, I keep being able to grab Bitcoin when the fear hits high during the day. Let's take a look at that fear and greed index today at 54. I would on it at 48, baby. Back to neutral, though. And if we can get to the shaded region, I don't know if we can get there ever again. It's going to take a nuclear, I shouldn't say that. You know what I'm saying, though, because, yeah. New coin, Tech Tias. I'll take a look at it, but, yeah, wow, this thing is ripping. So apparently people either know about the information or they're front-running it. But BLOCKY is booming to the upside. I don't own any. I don't know if I will. But wow, what a move there for BLOCKY Agent. BLOCKY AI Agent on Solana. Lifer, I'll send you alpha on Discord. Thank you. What does that mean? Brought some Bitcoin and XRP. Wow, a lot of people loyal to Caspa here. A lot of people say I had faith, but I'm into Caspa now. I like Caspa. Caspa's hot. All right. Wow, a lot of people into Caspa, which is interesting. Hey, I gave you BLOCKY AI before anyone talked about it at the 786-001-473. Moon point index is pretty low. Sammy inverted head and shoulder on the 2-hour time frame. For what coin? Bitcoin? No. A little late for that. And there's that V-shaped recovery off the inverted cat ears, called out by another lifer. He called the cat ears, and that's it. That's really where it goes. That's the pattern. It played out personally already there. We'll see if we can get some more. All right. Sammy inverted. I don't on the 2-hour. What do you mean? Which one on cat? Wow, Bitcoin with a nice big pump to the upside, massive short squeeze back to 105.5 now, and the volatility, you can't beat this volatility. Absolutely beautiful. I bet it made the 5-second 200 moving average cross and pumped. See, yeah. Once it crossed that 5-second, time to get in. It was ripping. Look at that right there, gone. I don't trade the 5-second 200 much, but dang. There it would have paid off pretty nicely. So Bitcoin attempting to come off the low at 103,887. Right now sitting at 104.6, kind of right where it's been for the last few days. I can send you anything, but look at the diamonds on the 3-day. Yeah. Caspa needs tier 1 host. Yeah, exactly. We bounced right off the trend line of this diamond. To me, it's not a diamond on the 3-day. I see it as an actual pattern, but to me, the diamond would have to be bigger. I see it basically as just a symmetrical, some type of triangle here. We got to get a bounce. 3-day candle closes green. Otherwise, it's a wrap. All right. XRP filled CME this morning. Interesting. Cubic will be the silent. I like Cubic. I think it's amazing. I was deep into it when people were deep diving altcoins, when they actually cared about the tech. Nobody seems to care anymore. If you want to trade where we trade, everybody, we trade on WEEX, BitTinex, and BTCC, and MEXC too. MEXC is the lowest fees of any exchange in the game. Just came out with a commercial on Twitter today. 0 fees, right? So let's take a look at the S&P 500 for a split second too as well. I'm going to be giving you a top-down analysis for what I see happening. I wanted to see this breakout. Now we're getting a little bit of up and down price action here on the S&P, some sideways movement. See the daily showing signs of, attempting to get a rejection here or just consolidate a little more. I think just war jitters are getting in there, but over time, I see the S&P continuing to pump. That first target there at 6447 for XRPZ. I mean, for the S&P. For S&P, the S&P. But can we bounce out of this? I mean, resistance there, too, at 6140. Fed info on the 26. I don't know about... Yeah. Anyway. Sam inverted on the 2 hour on Sol. Check this out. It'll blow your mind. On Solana? I mean, I see a head and shoulder there. You see there's an inverted on the 2 hour. There was, but it got rejected. Sol looks nasty now, too. Oh, man, a lot of these look like they're going to take a beat down. I just want to warn people, because if there's a nasty dump, you can't say the charts didn't tell you. You can't say it didn't tell you. If it gets a bounce, so be it. I'm going to see a shoulder head. That could be a right shoulder there. I see it opposite. I don't see what you see. Nowhere near it. No, not even close. I don't know how we see things so opposite. Yeah. It's really unfortunate how close faith is to insanity. Possibly. Soul on the edge. Bitcoin on the edge. Man, it looks like if we can't get the break back to that 200 moving average, which looks, the bulls got to show us something right now. It doesn't look like they're going to. Wow. So we broke out to a high of 112, came back down to the low of 100,000, pumped up back to 110K. Back down to 103. Pumped back up to 108.8 there, right, where we came back down. Had the rippage to 106 last night, and then we're all the way back down again. I really got to stick to the 12-hour time frame. And that's starting to show a bearish engulfer, too. I almost feel like that was the trend line. We bearishly retested it, you see? That makes the most sense to me right now. Like, we were in it. We needed the bounce. We were going to get tight and break out. We bearishly retested now. And you got to assume that we could be coming back down to the 12-hour 200 moving average, which would take you to 97,000. So 200 moving average means it's just a key area where you see a lot of bouncing. When you get above it, you got to just watch me to understand. And you'll that's a good question, but just keep coming back to the live. And it will begin to make sense to you what I'm talking about. Wow, man, a lot of people Fridays too, right? I mean, it looks like you're going to see Bitcoin about 101.8. If we can't get back above the 1 minute 200 moving average, we're going to see Bitcoin at 101.8. Everyone, I'm going to jump on out of here and start that weekly top-down analysis for you. That'll be out very, very, in the afternoon. We're going to start right now, so... I could just do it right now, but I pre-record it and get it all done nice and neat. So, everybody, I love you. Thank you so much for jumping on in and being a part of the live. It's Fridays. Attempt to have a good day. I know the price action isn't too great. Take a deep breath, though, one step at a time. Some people made massive gains. There is money to be made. Believe you're the opportunity. If you don't know a lot about TA, learn. If today you need to learn more about technical analysis, do that. Research coins, discipline yourself. There's always something to do, And if you got rocked and wrecked, liquidated, then you have to reassess what's happening. I would say not to leverage trade until you get a better handle of what's happening. Demo trade with fake money until you really know what you're doing. Please. If you open up exchanges and you leverage trade, please, a lot of the exchange links I gave you could just spot trade, DCA like I'm doing into Bitcoin. That's how I made it. All right? Remember, before I even touched the leverage trade, I was DCAing into Bitcoin. Staying disciplined, staying humbled. So... it's one step at a time, everybody. One day at a time. You're not going to make it overnight. I didn't make it overnight. Okay? And every single day I got to push just to keep what I have. It's not easy. Nothing is easy. Don't let anybody tell you it is. It's a fight every single day to keep pushing. And you just get what you deserve as you keep pushing. Bring more value to the market and people will bring more value to you. That's it. If you're upset with where you are in life, bring more value to the market and you'll see things change. You know what the secret to success is? You know, everybody knows it. You know what it is? The secret to success. It's getting started.